Dear Joshua, it's December 29th, and I'm glad to have you in my life. It's been 1 year since that final fight with your ex. She had really beat you up pretty bad. And it was all over a Subway sandwich, a milkshake, and a small comment. You fled the apartment in tears, in pain. You kept asking me why. Why would someone treat me this way, cause all of this pain, and say they love me 1 second and harm me the next, while yet telling me that I deserved every second of it? Is this what love really is? You got in the car crying, barely able to see through the tears. You drove off. You wanted a drink, multiple drinks, all of them to numb the pain. Every time you asked me why, the speedometer gained 10 miles an hour. By the seventh why, you were already doing 70 miles an hour on a busy street on the south side of Chicago, picking a light pole that was passing by to crash a car into, to perish, to die, and end the pain. You swerved once, and God was holding the wheel. You asked Him why. Why has my whole life been filled with so much pain, so much turmoil, and all of these experiences? But there was no reply. You started crying more and more. You ended up running through a red light, and you picked another pole to swerve into. And your car swerved again, but God was holding the wheel. Something in your heart told you, it's okay, just calm down. You fought with it, and you said, I'm tired of this pain. Help me, please. Your heart said, go get help. It's not your time to die. God still was holding the wheel, while your heart slowed its beats. Now, your car is going from 70 miles an hour to 25. You lived. You knew from that moment on that you needed help. You needed help to heal that pain. You declared that relationship was over. And instead of getting dozens of drinks, you visited your father to stare future you in the face and asked, is this the life you want? No, I want a better life. God said, let's go and develop a better life then. Let's go home. And you did go home. Days later, as you was moving out, you discovered that $60,000 in years of sentimental value was destroyed. Medical equipment, photography equipment, perished. You began to cry. You got angry. But your friend calmed you. So let's just keep packing. We moved out on New Year's Day, 2021. And you went home with your mom. You told her everything. And she spent countless hours trying to revive the medical belongings that perished with only little to no success. Fuck, man. Your phone kept ringing, kept buzzing, saying, with messages saying, I love you, with messages replying, saying that you don't love me. You told her she ruined your life. She destroyed your heart and put your life at risk. The very next week, you checked yourself into counseling. And that following weekend, you caught the flu. You were crying every day, endlessly. And it just created this downward spiral. You received calls of anger and frustration on both sides. But no one really asked, besides your mom, how could they truly help you? Everyone just wanted to fight her. And that's not what I wanted. That's not what you wanted. Your counselor, on your fourth meeting, was reminding you of how strong you are and how you're continuing to fight. As you're battling the odds, your breathing had declined significantly, your health declined, your car got hit overnight, and your surgeon said your nose was damaged beyond repair. It needed a total replacement due to the abuse and its already compromised structure. So you say at least you're trying. You're trying to give it your all, and that's all that matters. You said, is it really? She made a list of what you've survived. She read it to you. You're a survivor. You're a double suicide survivor. You're a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault. Survivor of 60 surgeries. Survivor of the pit bull mauling. Survivor of racial hate acts. A survivor of child abuse. Survivor of CPTSD. A survivor of ableism. A survivor of repeat bullying. And a survivor of yourself. He began to cry before she finished reading the list. She read it to you to remind you of how far you came and how far you will continue to go. The truth does hurt, and acknowledging the truth is the hard part to the mental healing process. The truth hurted you a lot, as it didn't hold back. It was honest with you, as you were beginning to being honest with yourself. The true work began here. You suffered to breathe. You let stress really pile up on you. You didn't know what to do. You felt helpless. You felt like you were dying. You even prepared yourself in case you were, because you weren't breathing properly and it was really getting to you. It made your body feel weak. It made you feel like she destroyed you. But you continued to fight for the following day's light. You were doing great in school. It was your last semester. It was senior year. Every day you woke up, you challenged yourself to do something different than you did the day before. Small goals became big accomplishments. From challenging yourself to eat more than once a day, to challenging yourself to say, I love you in the mirror. Self-love is an everyday struggle, and it's hard to maintain a perfect balance, as social and personal constructs hold you back. Being rejected from society over all of these years, and the countless rejections on dating apps that I poured hundreds of dollars into, couldn't fill the void in your heart. Thanks to counseling, you had to realize you could only fill that void. You realized that those thoughts, those suicidal thoughts, may never leave, but the ways of coping with them and practicing healthy techniques may help you a lot. Your health started to improve. You did things that you once loved and now love again. You stood in the mirror on one of your toughest days and proudly said, I admire you. I admire you for all that you went through. I am sorry that you had to go through that. But I admire you for standing here today with me. That quote of love sparked an ideal that Adobe didn't think was strong enough. You got a dog, a little darling you love so very much. She doesn't even trigger your PTSD. You come home every day to her, jumping in your arms. It's like the daughter you always wanted. You cut your hair. You began to love yourself in ways you couldn't imagine before. You fill that hole. You fill that void without needing to depend on others. You shared your story in the process publicly in the hopes to help others. You graduated college and took amazing photos, got a promotion, celebrated 22 years of being alive by going hiking. You legalized your photography business. I Admire You became a clothing brand, now called Admirewear. You donated clothes and donated a little over $2,000 to charity to help save lives like yours. You dressed up as Beauty in a Gown, that's what you called it, for a Halloween party, which inspired you to intimately photograph yourself with roses, defining your own version of masculinity for yourself. You may not always know what you're doing, but you always tell your mom that you're onto something great. You joined a creative collective that opened your eyes and they reassured you that you should keep going. You should keep following your dreams and you shouldn't stop. You had a very tough anniversary season with your PTSD flaring up really bad, but you didn't give up. You just kept going. And you told me that you're doing it for younger you. You you always said that you felt like you had no one that represented you when you were younger, when you were struggling. And you said you're doing it for that little you or older you that felt like they don't have no one that represents them. Maybe you represent someone out there and you do this in hope to inspire that one person, and come to find out you're inspiring multiple people. You're doing it for those who admire you. You said no matter how scared you are, you know it's your job to share your story with the world, to help others. It's your testimony. That's your ongoing testimony. You're still fighting for tomorrow's light. And this is my suicide. Pause. And this is my recovery letter to you. Remember that you're not alone. You can always reach your hand out for help. And there's always help available for you 24/7. Remember that it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to be different. It's okay to be who you are. And if someone doesn't love you, there's plenty of people out there that will love you, that will love and support you. And if you're surrounded by people that aren't uplifting you and motivating you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, then you need to develop a new group of people to be around. Life is hard. Just living with hardship is hard. And I just want to tell people that it does get easier and that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to express yourself. Even if it's talking to a counselor, someone you don't even know, but talking to them opens you up. It lets you get it out. It lets you express your pain, your emotions. Even having that friend you can rely on, it can just go a long way. It's okay to reach out for help and to be skeptical of that help and try. Every day is worth fighting for, and it's hard. It's hard finding that reason to fight for tomorrow's light. We have to. We're not alone. We may feel alone, but it's not alone. I promise that it does get easier. I thank everyone who has made it this far to the end. I'm sorry for making it so long, but I thank and admire everyone who's here today, those of us that aren't able to be here today. I love you so much. Take care of yourself. And I know God has something great in store for me. And God has something greatly in store for you as well. We got this. We can hold on. 1 minute at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 year at a time. It does get easier. Just ask for help.